Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, 21-year-old student of CMGC perishes in horrific traffic accident while several others are injured. Ministry of Health strongly condemns irresponsible driving. And COVID-19 cases plummet drastically. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, October 12th, 2022.
Ever since I was a kid, I dreamt of going to Mars. You can keep my dream alive.
Come with me. You cannot, under any circumstances, leave my room, okay? Only for 35 days.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Es un hecho que tu crédito dura más con Smart. Durante estos tiempos, todos buscamos cómo minimizar nuestros gastos y ahorrar a lo máximo. Con Smart, lograr esto es fácil. Es un hecho que con Smart su crédito dura más. Puede llamar de Smart a Smart y de Smart a Judicial sin discriminar al proveedor, usando su crédito promocional. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo puede usar su crédito promocional para llamar a Judicial. ¿Qué significa esto? Su crédito promocional, ya que viene gratis al hacer sus recargas en temporadas de Double Ups, le otorga llamadas gratis a cualquier número nacional. Sigue con Smart y ahorra más dólares.
I met Alex on the plane. When I woke up in the morning, he was so alive.
I think they know you're lying.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Get her off that stage.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight is really late.
That was so much fun since this pandemic forced us on lockdown and like my online classes have been so stressful.
Oh my God.
And I'm very glad that you finally get out.
Yes, that's true. And that girl, you will let loose. I never did expect that from you. Oh, Melanie.
Well defended again by Beverly.
Everyone else, this is very strong.
George the drive and the finish. Posting up Marcus Morris.
My gosh. Looks like Kobe hit him real hard. My gosh, Melanie. Now you the top. You see what I mean? The married life. She can even enjoy her friends like in a peace.
Mind your business. Someday you might find a great guy too.
Exactly. Well, I still kind of have a crush on him because oh, no, remember the one who I danced with at the wedding?
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, well, I would have found out done with him any day. Anyways, we're done causing enough trouble for one night. Make her walk on her own. Alright. Now I believe I have to go downstairs at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Bye. Bye.
Hey, morning. Morning. Your friend Melinda bring this for you on the way to work? Check it. Check it. I had to be more appreciative because I'm a nice friend. And remember, nothing never happened last night, right? Right?
I love you, Jack. You have to do this for you. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Your future self will thank you.
No. I need help.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, women and girls were at the highest risk of suffering domestic violence. Domestic violence involves violence between any member of the same household. It can happen to females or males, young or old. However, the evidence has shown that women and girls face the greatest risk. That risk has heightened due to the impacts of the pandemic, including job losses, mounting stress, and restrictions to movement and recreation. We can all help to combat violence against women and girls during the COVID-19 pandemic. Just like Melanie did, you can reach out to someone who is struggling and help them to find a way out. It is never easy, but together we can fight this. Belize will not be safe until its women are safe. Secure Belize.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. The family of a 21-year-old student of Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College is tonight preparing to lay him to rest after he lost his life in a horrific traffic accident yesterday at around 4 p.m. on the Philip Coulson Highway. Jorge Vargas had just wrapped up classes for the day when he took a minivan along with other students to head home. But Georgie, as how Vargas is affectionately known, never made it back to his family as the taxi van he was traveling in collided head-on into an ambulance between miles 82 and 83 of the highway. While several persons received serious injuries and are recuperating at the hospital, Vargas died on impact. Reporter Elmer Cornejo has this story.
A deadly collision occurred minutes after 4 p.m. yesterday in this immediate area of the Philip Coulson Highway in Ranchito Village, Corozal. One student, 21-year-old Jorge Vargas of Corozal, lost his life on impact. The tragic incident unfolded as Luis Canelo drove the ambulance belonging to the Ministry of Health towards Orange Walk. He was accompanied by nurses Misael Moria and Victoria Mo. Their task was to transport a minor and her mother to the Northern Regional Hospital. But upon arriving between miles 82 and 83 of the highway, Canelo tried to overtake a truck, and that is when a blue mini taxi van, which was heading towards Corozal, with mostly students as passengers and being driven at the time by 49-year-old Belizean taxi driver Carmelo Cao, collided head-on with the ambulance.
Well, I was just in my living room and I heard this ambulance, was blasting the siren down the road. And all of a sudden I just heard a big bang. And I ran outside and I realized probably it was the ambulance because the siren stopped blasting. And I just saw a Coca-Cola truck was pulled on the side and everybody just ran outside.
Cuando llegué, Hay gente que está sangrando, hay gente atascados entre los vehículos. En el otro lado vi, aparentemente ya estaba muerto un muchacho. El chofer del van estaba bien atascado a su pie y un cuate que estaba conmigo allá en el otro lado del taller que le estaba haciendo un trabajo, fuimos y pues ayudamos a sacar al chofer. Dimos vuelta en el otro lado, vimos que hay gente lastimada dentro del van. Pues en el taxi, ajá, ya habían sacado unas personas allá. En el vehículo de la ambulancia, pues había la enfermera, el doctor, el chofer, pues, estaban lastimados así, todas las personas.
Solamente una persona había ya fallecido por el incidente al ese momento.
Sí.
¿Y los demás?
Pues estaban lastimados nomás, había un morenito que estaba tendido, pues él estaba bien lastimado porque con trabajo respiraba, pero sí, él estaba vivo todavía. Solo uno yo vi que estaba en el dashboard, que estaba majado. Sí, se veía que ya estaba muerto.
Medical personnel and the police arrived on the scene about 20 minutes after the collision. By that time, Vargas, who was a student at Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College, laid motionless on the pavement, with a sheet covering his body, while his family waited for him to arrive home from school at his usual 2:30 p.m. time. What happened yesterday?
Well, what happened yesterday, he would always be picked up by his mom in town. So yesterday she received a call from him. He said that he was going to be late today. He was going to come out late from school because he had some extra activities at school, or they were preparing for some presentation that would be happening today at school. So she got the call that he would be ready to get picked up in town at 3:30, but that call never was never made. I've spoken to the parents. They really don't want to comment much on that issue because they have, unfortunately, Belize, they always have leak outs, and we do have a first police report. We don't want to comment on it until everything officially has been done by police, and then from there, the family will move on. No? But although we are really asking for no interference, we want justice to be made. Anybody that is responsible needs to be responsible of made responsible for the accident.
While Vargas's family prepares to lay him to rest, his cousin Dr. Rafael Riverol says Georgie, as how Vargas was affectionately known, will be remembered for his jovial character and as a person who was always willing to assist. Who Jorge was in person?
Okay, well, Jorge was, or affectionately known as Georgie. In the family, we knew him as Georgie always. Well, he was fun. He was jovial. He was striving to have a future. He went back to school, and he was currently pursuing Sixth Farm. He was doing business. He was always involved in the community, in sports especially. He was part of the Team Pelican team. This year, he also participated in the carnival and the carnival group. So he was always involved in the community, always trying to be active. No, we know him. He's kind-hearted. He was always doing everything in family. No, with his family, with his parents. We don't know him as a troublemaker, or he would be out drinking or socializing like that. No. So that was Georgie for us.
Vargas's immediate family preferred to refrain from making any direct comments on the incident today, as they have made a position to await the outcome of the police investigation. Elmer Cornejo, Ctv3 News.
Vargas's family is yet to finalize a date for him to be laid to rest. Vargas's family are not the only ones who have to deal with this untimely death. Students at CEMJC also have to accept the fact that he will no longer be amongst them. Today, when we arrived at the institution, the grief could have been felt as students and faculty mourned the death of one of their own.
Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College in San Roman Village, Corozal, was a place 21-year-old Jorge Vargas called home. This is where he spent most of his days surrounded by friends and peers. But today, when we arrived at the educational institution, we were met with a somber ambience as the faculty and staff mourned the death of one of their own. A black bow at the entrance gate of the junior college announces the untimely death of Vargas, while both the school and Belizean flag fly at half-mast, showing respect for the fallen scholar.
A lot of people know that apart from being Jorge's dean, he's my relative, he's my cousin. For me, it was a great loss, as was to his family. Normally here at SMJC, we practice a family culture, and Jorge was a very active student. He was so charismatic, a little bit shy, but very charismatic, and he had a lot of friends. When we got here this morning, a lot of the students were very sad. Some came to offer their condolences. Teachers are going through a difficult time trying to accept the fact that he is no longer with us.
As mentioned by Gonzalez, an altar has also been erected by the students and teachers of SMJC in memory of Vargas.
The bow and the altar were coordinated by, I think it's a joint coordination with the counselor. We had a counselor from the high school assisting us, along with the business teacher, Mrs. Iris Reyes, and other teachers. It was a group effort to show our love and appreciation for Jorge. And we also have a book there where students wrote messages of fond memories and also offering their condolences to. We intend to give some of these, the book, and if you saw, there was also a painting there of which he participated in one of his English classes, and we intend on giving this to the family.
Vargas was scheduled to graduate in December of this year. After conversations with the chair of the board of directors at the institution, it has been decided that an honorary associate's degree be given to his parents on graduation day. Elmer Cornejo, Ctv3 News.
Vargas is the second student of the CEMJC to pass away since the institution opened its doors 15 years ago. As mentioned at the top of the newscast, several other students of Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College were traveling in the minivan that collided into the ambulance and caused the death of Jorge Vargas. Today, the dean of CEMJC gave us an update on the condition of 20-year-old Aliyah Marokin of Corozal Town, Armando Pat, and Anthony Zib.
I was at home already, and a teacher notified me that she was on the scene of the accident. That would be Miss Melissa Alfaro, my IT teacher. And when she notified me, I immediately got up and I drove to the scene of the accident.
And what did you see when you got there?
Well, when I got there, some of the students had already been transported to the Corozal Community Hospital. Then I saw the body of Jorge Vargas was still on the scene of the accident. I just received an update about an hour ago, and we're talking about 3 other students currently at the Corozal Community Hospital. We have Anthony Sib, who is from Pachacan Village. He's being treated there. One of the good signs is that the moment I walked into the room, he recognized me. And last night when I went to assist by giving information, parent information to the doctors and nurses at the hospital, he didn't recognize me. So that was a little bit of a concern for me. But I felt much better today when I walked into the ward and he called me by my name. And then we have, I was made to understand that Armando Pat was transported this morning from the Corozal Community Hospital and is now being treated at the Northern Regional Hospital. Yesterday, when I got to the hospital, He didn't recognize me, but he did ask me to stay by his side, and he asked me for a hug. And I was there until his father arrived, and then I moved to the other student. The other student is Alia Marroquin, and I spoke to her. She was stable, but she had suffered multiple fractures, and she had an abrasion on her head. And her parents were there. They were one of the first parents to arrive at the hospital, and so they accompanied her on the ambulance to Belize City because she is currently at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital.
Would you say she's one of the more serious cases?
At this point, I am very concerned. Yes, she's one of the serious cases along with Armando Pat.
Another student involved in the traffic accident is Jaheim Williams. While he does not attend CEMJC, Dean Gonzalez alerted his counterparts so that Williams could have received urgent medical attention.
One of the things that when I got to the hospital, one of the doctors, who is a colleague of mine, Dr. Marcel Riverol, we went to school together. He took me to Jaheim Williams and asked me if I knew the student. And since I have access to our school system, which is online, I went in and I couldn't identify the student on the profile. And so I informed them immediately that the student does not come to Centro Escolar Mexico. And so the doctor went into, I think, a database that they manage at the hospital and found a number for the mother. So I immediately called and informed the mom. Then we found out that he was going to BAJC. The mother was contacting family members so that somebody can go to the hospital immediately, because the doctor informed that since he's a minor, he needed to undergo an emergency CT scan, and a parent or guardian had to approve it. So what I did was to call on the dean, who I knew at the time was the closest person. Fortunately, the dean was in town, and he got there within minutes. And so he went in and told the doctors that yes, that he would, through his institution, they would respond for the CT scan. And so the people at the hospital had him prepped. He was already prepped, and so the ambulance took off with him and took him to Belize City. During my time there, I was asked to speak to him, and he at times became conscious and then lost consciousness, and did this several times. But I was made to understand late last night that he did regain consciousness, and I'm very grateful for that, and he has spoken to his mother. And so he's being treated at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital.
The driver of the minivan, Carmelo Cow, received injury to his left knee, cut to right chest, left side of his forehead, and a fractured right knee, while the driver of the ambulance, Luis Canelo, received a swollen right ankle and pain on his chest area. Nurse Victoria Mesh received a cut to the center of her forehead, cut to lower lip, and complaints of pain to her right shoulder. As for Nurse Misael Loria, she received abrasions to the left cheek, left side of head, and pain to left side of rib cage. What injuries were suffered by the minor patient and her mother are unknown at this time. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, MOHW, issued a statement today indicating that it is aware of the accident involving one of its ambulances and the minivan. The MOHW states in its statement that strongly condemns irresponsible driving on the highways and is fully cooperating with the police in the investigation in order to determine the cause of the accident. Regrettably, as mentioned before, a life was lost in that accident, and today the ministry extended its deepest and sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Jorge Vargas, as well as to all the persons affected by this tragedy. The Football Federation of Belize, FFB, and the Curacao Football Association, CFA, also expressed condolences to the family and friends of Jorge Roberto Vargas, who was also a footballer. Vargas recently took part in an amateur tournament with Curacao Pelicans FC and was to take part in an upcoming tournament. Coming up next, the backlog in cases at the magistrate and the Supreme Court reduced by 42%.
What is Amnesty 2022? An opportunity for undocumented immigrants living in Belize. Belize wants to help you to live freely and continue contributing to those communities you and your family now call home by offering a pathway to permanent residency. Why should you apply? In doing so, you remove barriers and reduce the difficulties faced living as an undocumented immigrant. Applying is easy. Go online to www.immigration.gov.bz for more information. Find out if you qualify, how to apply, what documents you need, and how to book your appointment. Be prepared. The registration period will be from the 2nd of August to the 30th of November 2022. Belize Amnesty 2022. Let's continue to build Belize together.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Start your engines now for the National MSME Roadshow, geared towards building the resilience of MSMEs and developing a national MSME directory. Sign up for this 3-day event filled with intensive boot camps, presentations, MSME support and formalization clinics, pop-up shops, and more to help you develop and promote your business. The National MSME Roadshow will be in Curacao starting August 24th, Orange Walk August 31st, Belize City September 7th, Punta Gorda September 14th, Key Cocker September 22nd, Belmopan September 28th, San Ignacio and San Helena on October 5th, Sangria October 12th, Placencia October 19th, and closes in San Pedro from October 26th. Learn more and sign up for the National MSME Roadshow by visiting the Beltrade Facebook page or call or WhatsApp us at 613-5139. And let's get your business on the road.
A look at the latest COVID-19 report published by the Ministry of Health shows that for the period October 5th to the 11th, 25 new cases were identified. The report also shows that 1 person is hospitalized and the active cases currently stand at 26. In Curacao, 1 case was identified in Shaibe, while in Orange Walk, 2 cases were found in Tral Farm. In Belize, there were 9 cases in San Pedro 2, Cayo 5, Stan Creek 4, and Toledo 2. The death toll currently stands at 686, while the number of total cases since the pandemic is at 68,909. As part of ongoing U.S. support for Belize's judicial reform efforts, the U.S. Embassy today donated office and computer equipment to the judiciary to aid in creating enhanced efficiencies in processing court cases. This donation, valued at over $280,000 is part of a broader U.S. government-sponsored backlog reduction program, which also supports legislative reform and the establishment of a digital case management system. Currently, majority of the cases in the backlog are dated over several years. But with the assistance of the U.S. Embassy under its backlog reduction program, The justice system in Belize is looking at eradicating the backlog, even though it will take tremendous amount of resources, according to Chief Justice Louise Blenman.
It is multifaceted and have both the Supreme Court and the magistracy as its beneficiary, and is aimed at improving the delivery of justice in Belize. Its components include improvement of remote hearings, access points at the prison, modernizing and updating the case management system and standards, and IT capabilities of our court. Cognizance must be paid to the fact that in order for the justice system to be strengthened, it is imperative that there are technological improvements. As part of the Embassy's continued contribution to the delay reduction program, the judiciary is very grateful to the Embassy for so generously donating to the judiciary much needed and very costly equipment. It will go a very long way to contributing to the efficiencies of our court.
According to Charge d'Affaires Leila Moses once, since the program's inception 6 months ago, the case backlog this year is already reduced by 42% due to previous donations and efforts at better case management, tracking of adjournments, and implementation of court-to-prison video link.
The current program aims to reduce the criminal case backlog through supporting legislative reform and, as the Chief Justice said, the development and enhancement of a case management system that rests on modern digital technologies. U.S. assistance in the reduction of case backlog is important because each case represents an alleged crime committed against a victim here. And it's a good thing that court caseloads are increasing. It means improved law enforcement techniques and the work of local law enforcement who are investigating and holding criminals accountable. But the flip side of that is that delays in the delivery of justice risk further increasing the suffering of victims of crime. And this is a major reason why the United States government is providing this critical support to Belize at Belize's invitation to prevent future case backlogs from gaining a negative momentum. The focus of this year's justice sector programming has been on reducing the criminal case backlog and improving efficiencies by streamlining court processes. And so incredibly, in just 6 months, from March to September of 2022, we have seen a 42% reduction countrywide in the backlog of criminal cases.
Apart from equipment, the reduction in the backlog is also attributed to the assistance of temporary judges who have been working tirelessly across the country.
Part of the equipment is to go to the prison to expand the access at the prison for adjournments and bail applications so that magistrates throughout the country would be able to have access to the prisoners who are on remand. So that is part of it. Presently, there are 4 access points at the prison, so that does not give, and that those are access points that are set. So it's only the Belize Supreme Court and the, I believe, 2 magistrate courts in Belize City that have that. Now this would allow for magistrates wherever in the country of Belize to be able to access through a Wi-Fi Connect laptop.
Part of the equipment donated today will go to the Kobe Correctional Facility.
Part of what assisted us is, in fact, the temporary judges that were given to us through the Commonwealth Secretariat. So with their assistance, we have been able to reduce significantly a lot of the criminal matters that are presently before the court. The contract ends for the judges in January. The GLSC is presently discussing recruitment in relation to that issue. The judges are continuously hearing matters with the sentencing indicators, judges have been able to address what the sentencing would be to accused persons, and accused persons have in fact pled guilty based on those indicators. So that as well has in fact reduced the number of matters at the criminal court.
While reducing the backlog by 42% is good news, there is much more that needs to be done to improve the community's confidence in the justice system, says Chief Justice Blenman.
If criminals are not brought to justice in a timely, effective, fair, and efficient manner, persons will lose confidence in the justice system. If this has not to some extent occurred, however, in my view, all is not lost. In order to restore more public confidence in the criminal justice system, both the quality and the quantity of justice must improve in the immediate future. It is critical that litigants are provided with easy access to justice that is fair and efficient, failing which fundamental rights may be impacted. More recently, inefficiencies in the delivery of justice were further laid bare during the COVID-19 pandemic. This state of affairs does not augur well, since, for example, potential investors who have genuine interest in Belize will be reluctant to come to Belize, and if they are of the informed view that crimes are not effectively prosecuted and punished, all of this can have the effect of undermining Belize's development and eroding its stability. As a matter of urgency, the judiciary and magistracy will be reformed and modernized in order to be able to properly serve the people of Belize.
Today's donation is intended to further establish justice for each victim of crime represented in the court system. Ministers of Education from the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, will convene in Georgetown, Guyana on the 13th and 14th of October to discuss the strengthening of the region's education sector in their first face-to-face meeting since the COVID-19 pandemic. The 44th meeting of the CARICOM Council of Human and Social Development will be held at the CARICOM Secretariat. The Ministers of Education will examine regional and national actions to address the learning gaps created by school closures during the pandemic. The agenda also includes matters related to quality and equitable education, CARICOM standards for the teaching profession, recommendations for the new Caribbean school model, and the implementation of the CARICOM Human Resource Development Strategy. Belize's Minister of Education, Francis Fonseca, is among the speakers at the event, along with Assistant Secretary General, Directorate of Human and Social Development, CARICOM Secretariat, Alison Drayton, and Dr. Marcel Hudson, Chief Education Officer of Guyana. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, October 13th, here on Ctv3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News PZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.